Yo, it doesn't look that bad. What's up, Rashawn? Let me see if my family's off the Wi-Fi, and then we'll get going. All right. So it looks like there's about 8 of you up in here. Yeah, that's right. It's been a while for me. What's up, Brian? What's up, Chris? Judson? Thanks, man. Master Bat, KO, Rashawn. What's up, folks? I'm going to wait until a couple more of you are in here. And then what I'm planning on doing is I'm just going to review some of the customs that I've been working on. I got a ton of customs going on at the same time, and may have to ask for you guys for some help to see which custom I finish first. So I'm going to wait until maybe at least 10 of us are in here. And this cable's not completely finished. What are you guys up to tonight? What's up, Gokson? The Toy Thief, what's going on? We'll get going in a couple minutes. How's that angle? You guys like that angle? Yeah, it's hot, Rashawn. It's hot here in California too. What part of Texas are you from? Hun, hun, can you get me that? Thanks. Arlington. I'm in Southern California. And watching you at the moment. Gotcha. All right, so I'm going to go over some of these customs and maybe ask for your help to see which custom I should finish, because I keep on working on these things, and then I think what it is that I'm afraid to getting to the paint portion. But let's take a quick look at this cable. I'm not completely done with him yet, but I'm happy with how this guy is turning out so far. Now this has been done before. This is not an original kit bash. One of the Beltran brothers did it first, and I think he got some of the idea from an ACBA artist called Punker Mike. So those of you that do ACBA, you may be familiar with both of those guys. The Beltran boys are into ACBA. So I've just been messing around, added some magnets here so I can put the gun back there. It's not really that attractive looking with the bare magnets, but I just wanted to, just for today actually, just to see how that looks. So let me put him up here. Let's see if he's able to stay up on this turn wheel with his big gun on him. Yeah, so not bad. I'm not sure if you guys have used magnets before. I got a bunch of magnets. They're actually pretty cheap, and they come in different sizes. And I found it to be just a pretty cool addition to customizing. All it is you gotta cut a hole for it, glue it down, and then you're good to go. Make sure that the right sides are facing each other. But as you can see, there's a couple sizes. There's many more sizes to these even. I think these may be the a little bit larger ones right here. and then you'll have smaller ones. The smaller ones I'm planning on using on the Daredevil custom. And actually, I'll show you in a second, but I did use the smaller ones already, so you can see the different size there. Oops, how about I just do it like that? You can see the difference there. I used those smaller ones on the Captain America. So this is going to be interactive, so if you guys have questions, I'll be glad to answer. I'll share whatever knowledge I have with you if you're interested in doing some of these things. This figure is almost done. The only thing that I need to do with it is just finish off just the details. I need to paint that side right here from where I dremeled off the existing pockets. And I think that's pretty much all I need to do with this guy. I really like this this combination. He's a good-looking, very good-looking figure. The kit bash, I mean, I didn't do anything special. The kit bash is money, and for me, it's better than any of the cable offerings that we have had so far. So let me see if you guys have any questions about this figure. Christopher Ryan says it's hot in Georgia. Master Bat never played Halo. I got out of video gaming right when that was becoming popular. The first-person shooters. Yeah, Chris, I'm actually pretty excited about Superman. Why don't I bring him up right after the second cable that I'm doing right here, so you guys can see what I'm doing. And hey, what's up, Jamar? No, I'm not making two Supermans. I'll show you in a second what I'm doing. Hey, AS Reyes, ¿qué pasó, chico? There's another guy from Texas right there. Let me bring up the second cable. And this guy's a little bit farther off from being finished. Let me see if I can get him to stand there. I didn't want to let some of these parts go unused. And so what I do need to put either some sort of pouch or gun here in this area, put some holsters on them, and then do a little bit of touch-up painting. This one, let me see if I can get up close. I did do that's the first beard I've ever sculpted, and it actually turned out not that bad. Not that bad. AS, I thought you already got yourself a cable. You don't need me to sell you one of these, man. I may sell one of these. I actually have a couple more figures to play around with different cable. You know, cables had so many different uniforms, but I like this one. This one's unique because of that beard, and I mean, again, it's nothing fancy, but it came out pretty good. I'm not quite happy with how the hair, so I need to do some touch up on the paint. Let's take a quick look at this. Let me see if I can get the light on the right part. And then what I was trying to do, I was messing around with the magnets just because I could, but I was thinking about making some sort of effect, a metal looking effect, you know, because he's got the cyber virus, and have it be more pronounced. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do yet, but that's in store for this custom, just to make it a unique piece. I saw somebody that used this part. I'm trying to remember what figure this was from, because I ended up giving the boots or trading the boots to someone for a custom. You guys recognize what figure that is from? I'm forgetting right now. It may be a Gears of War figure. Yeah, matter of fact, I think it is a Gears of War figure. Yeah, there you go, Thomas. Thanks for confirming that. These are the select arms. So I like the way they look, but what we lose is obviously the articulation. The selects hadn't, when they came out with cable, they weren't that as articulated as they are coming out now. AS Reyes is asking about his Wolverine. Check out this figure. I traded AS Reyes for this guy because I was thinking about using these shoulder pads. I didn't even know this figure existed. Did you guys know about this figure? I did not know about this figure. The only way I knew about this figure is because this is just a Holden. I had bought this head to use on a Wolverine customs. I'm actually a few Wolverine customs that I'm planning. And but anyway, I traded AS for this figure, and I think the shoulder pads are going to be too big for me to use. So I think I'm ultimately going to sculpt mine out of Procreate or just epoxy sculpt. But this figure, I mean, the paint looks pretty cool. I mean, it's got a lot more orange on the head than the rest of his body, so that kind of looks a little bit weird. But it does have this orange shading. It's an interesting look on Wolverine. These things aren't sculpted, but I had never heard of this figure. Apparently, this is one of the ones that had a gimmick. All right, which one did I say I was going to bring up next? I said I was going to bring up Superman next. So for those of you that like DC, I like both Marvel and DC. I definitely have more Marvel characters than anything because Marvel Legends puts out better product than the DC folks do. What's up, Cody? And this is an idea that I got from Toy Box Customs. As a matter of fact, I got that head sculpt from Toy Box Customs, as well as, I mean, I've gotten a bunch of stuff from him. He's on Instagram. You guys should go check him out if you're interested in custom stuff. But I ended up getting that Superman emblem on it. And one of the things that I need to work on is my sculpting. My sculpting is horrific. So I'm trying to work my way up. I need to actually finish this leg. But I need to sculpt the boots, and then I'm going to go classic style with this guy, and I need to do the belt. I need to sculpt the belt. And then what I'm thinking about doing is I am going to make my own cape, and I'm going to make it posable. I have an idea of how to go about that, but how to attach the cape, and I'm thinking about using magnets. So I'm planning on drilling holes here. Let's do that on camera. Drilling holes right there, and then having the magnets in here, and then obviously to the cape. And if you've seen Action Figure Toronto when he did his, oh gosh, what was it? Mysterio custom. That's the idea of how I'm going to connect it here instead of gluing the cape down. So I'm going to play around with that. And I do have a desire to have a Superman in my collection. I don't have one so far. Let me run through the comments, see if there are any questions. Yeah, so Chris, I am going to be doing the classic. What's up, Whole Grain? Nicholas? Yeah, he did a really good job. What you're seeing here, that was me screwing it up. I had positioned the logo a little bit too high, and I had already glued it down. So when I try to take it off, I snapped it, so I had to re-glue it here, and so that's why that looks jacked up. That has nothing to do with Toy Box Custom. That was all me, my dumbassery. I do like to fill in the peg holes, so I got to do a little bit of work there just to make it look more as part of the sculpt. And so that's that project. Let me cast this guy aside. Let me see, who should I bring up next? Who do you guys want to see next? Yeah, I hope so, Jomar. Here, let me put one in, because this one, if you guys are interested in doing, this should be pretty easy for you to do. Obviously, this is Proxima Midnight. I'll bring up the green-headed guy next. So this is Proxima Midnight, and this is obviously this is the Toon Accurate, or the Comic Accurate head. I got this from on eBay. I'm forgetting the name of the seller there, but it's I think it's Jesse Quintero, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Jesse Quintero? Quintero? I'm forgetting the name offhand, but he sculpted it. If you guys are interested, hit me up. A matter of fact, check out my Instagram because I put the link and everything to that right there. This was actually pretty easy to do. I don't know if it's coming across, but I tried to get different color hues, purples, blues in the hair, and have it look variegated like it does in the comics. And one of the things that I did, and if you guys are interested in doing, I did a video for it. I added a magnet so then you can pose her hair in a bunch of different ways, and it won't hinder the articulation. So what I'm planning on doing with her, I was gonna do a whole repaint, but I really like this pearlescent white that came with the figure. I'm not big on the movie figures at all, but I really like this figure. The gold is also very good, so I filled in the peg holes. I need to do a little bit of sanding, and then I'll be painting the black, and I think this one would be good to go. It's a great figure. Let me see what you guys saying. Okay, you guys are saying, all right, we're gonna go in order. So we're gonna do Jamar. We're gonna go with Jamar's next, which is the green-headed guy. And let me see, as soon as I put him on here, you guys will be able to tell who he is. Sorry about the shake there. That head sculpt was $16.99. So as you can, let me see if I'm not sure if I focused up on his symbol or not. Again, I got the symbol from Toy Box Customs, and as you can tell, or maybe you can't tell, it's Bizarro. So let's get him off the stand. And what I did here is I did a little bit of sculpting. You guys can tell which head this is, right? I haven't decided if I'm going to do the classic Bizarro or if I'm going to go with the new 52 version of him. I I really like the way that Dexter Soy is drawing him in Red Hood and the Outlaws. If you guys wanna read a fun comic book with great art, go check out. I think it's Scott Lobdell and Dexter Soy who are doing that right now. So let me see if anybody got it. Anybody say Savage Dragon? Yep. There you go. AS Reyes got it. It is Savage Dragon. I took off his crest and I sculpted this with epoxy sculpt. Now what I wanted was some flex on the, oops, sorry about that guys. I wanted some flex on the hair. So people use Procreate putty. So this is something that you guys need to know. So I ended up getting this putty right here, Procreate putty, and it cures super fast, but it ended up being not what I wanted to do. Matter of fact, here's the variant head that I'm working on. Let's give props if you guys can figure out whose head this was at some point. And I started to sculpt the hair. Let me see if I can do it. There you go. I need to use my other hand. So I wanted the hair to be flexy, and it is, but it's not having the, see it breaks off pretty easy, and it's not supposed to do that, which is okay because you're gonna see me tear it off, and I'm gonna redo it. This putty is not the putty that you want to use. This is not the Procreate putty that everybody uses, the customizers that use it for flex. So it has a give to it. I'm gonna have to redo that, darn it. But that's all right. The putty that you guys want to buy is this one. This is the Procreate putty. It's a 2-part mixture, and it even gives you a chart here of how you want to mix it in percentages, depending on the amount of flexibility that you want. Actually, I haven't opened this yet. I got this on eBay. So you can see it comes in 2 different compounds. It smells good. Let me put that back in there. I'll take a look at the comments in a second, guys. But I'm not exactly sure what this putty is necessarily good for. And I don't even really know how to mix it because it wasn't a 2-part compound. And I asked on Facebook, and people didn't know. So I'm not sure. I tried to mix the outer part with the inner part, and as you saw, it didn't do. This thing didn't even harden up like it's supposed to. So I don't know what the deal is with that. If you happen to have used this before and you know, let me know, and then I'll spread the word. But this is definitely not the one that you want to use, because I mean, you have to work super fast. You only have about 5 minutes of work time, and then you can't really manipulate it. It just kind of gets gummy. But it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. What's up, RG? We are Venom. What's going on? All right, let me go back up. Let's see the order that you guys, who was supposed to be next. All right, so then we had, so that was Bizarro. And I am going to have an alternate head. This is Omega Red's head. And let me see, it should fit. I haven't really fitted it for what I want it to. So this is when Bizarro goes crazy. And right now in the comics, Bizarro, Lex Luthor, spoiler alert, Lex Luthor, to save him, he did something to him, and he's actually a pretty smart guy in the comics right now. Great character, really well written, and he looks awesome. And that's what I'm going to be doing next. So yeah, I sculpted that. I mean, I worked with the Omega Red. I filled in his cheeks, but then I need to redo his hair, and I think he'll look fine once I figure out how to use that putty. All right. So the next one, we are gonna go with Gambit. So Gambit, I was just gonna use. I had the sculpt. This head sculpt, I purchased it a really long time ago. I haven't really worked much, so there's not much to say. The reason I didn't start doing this guy yet is because I needed to develop. I've had this head for like 2 years, and I didn't feel like I could handle that type of custom, because I wanted to have soft goods. I wanted to have that trench coat, and I wanted to make it posable. Now I think I've learned enough that I can make it work. So he's on to do. I haven't really worked much on him though. There's not much to say. So you guys want to talk about this guy? I've had this guy. I worked. Hold on, let me see if I can give you a whole spin-a-rooney on this guy. I really like this Kit Bash. I really can't. I don't know why I haven't finished him. I should have finished him a while ago, but let's talk parts here. So part wise, this is going to be your Toy Biz head in there. Let me see if I have. Oh, there we go. From this guy. That helmet and that armor is him, as you can see. He's in there, but he's attached to. Can you guys tell what torso this is? That should let you know right there who it is. There's a lot of comments. I appreciate it, but I'm having trouble keeping up with them. So yeah, there you go. AS Reyes for the win again. You guys, that's 2 he's got. So that is a Rhino. It's the one that came with Misty Knight, and I just put some. Actually, this piece right here, these red pieces that I got right there, it was just some tubing from an old iPad case that I had. And obviously these are the arms from the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure. I like the Build-A-Figure. I didn't really care much for the head sculpt, but the body proportions, I had actually planned on doing this before the Juggernaut came out, but there's something that I like aesthetically more about. I know that Juggernaut has this humongous chest, the Build-A-Figure piece, but I don't know. For me, and since this guy's going in my collection, uh, that's the way I'm good. No, so the helmet is not removable. As you can see, what I had to do, I cut. Let me see if I can pop them out. Actually, I'm afraid that I may pull the whole thing off right now, so I don't want to do it. But what I did have to do, and as you can see, I have to do some work for paint rub. I started this kit bash quite a while ago, and so I've gotten better with prepping the joints and stuff. But anyways, I cut the head off of Rhino and inserted the Juggernaut head. So it's actually on the neck joint of Rhino. So what I'm thinking about doing is I do have a spare Rhino head that I can put in that area, right? And it's it's supposed to be removable, right? Is putting this guy on there, so I will have a removable head. Let me see if I can get. I'm just afraid. Let me see. There we go. Oh, things are all coming off. So there you can see where I kind of cut the face and I melded it on, or glued it on. Melded it. I don't even know if meld's a word, but that's going to be the idea, is putting it on the other, so I can have an alternate unmasked head. What a great head sculpt that is. But I didn't do a very good job on paint rub. As you can see, I did what's called the Synthol priming method, which it kind of gives you the shading and highlights for where you want to have that on your figure. And as you can see, this has major rub spots right here. So I didn't do any joint prep on this figure. Not good. That's not a good customizing thing. So I have to go back and prep this figure for painting. So I still got some work to do. I probably have I want to say I probably have another 2 to 3 hours to work before I even get going on painting that figure. Hot Cheeto Fingers, what's up? Thanks, Venom. I appreciate that. I haven't started Magic yet. I think I'm going to hold off because I have so many things going on, and plus I want to wait for X23 to go on sale because she's already fairly cheap. I've seen her go for like $12, so I'll wait until she goes for $6, and then maybe do that. Yeah, you're right, AOS Reyes. It's a little bit wobbly, but I guess we don't really need this turntable anymore. That was to show off cable. Let me get this out of the way so I have some room. But it can get into some really nice poses. I was actually messing with this a little bit earlier. You know, the Rhino bath. The Rhino bath is, I had it in a much better pose. Now my posing is going to suck right here since I'm on camera. Little Rhino, little Juggernaut smash. And then maybe get a little Wolverine in it. I just think this guy is going to look, he's kind of big, so that's what she said. So if you get the weight just right, you know, facing off against Wolvie. Hey man, I can pose figures, okay? Just it will take some time. Trying to do this quick, AS Reyes. Funny guy. I mean, I think it's gonna look really, really good on the shelf. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But it is wobbly. See, this is what he's talking about. So that's about as far back as it goes, and it doesn't stay in that back position. I think maybe if I put some future floor polish, it'll help tighten this up for sure. Like this, I wish it had like three, like click, 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 but it just has one. But that's something else that I could do during the pre-painting phase, mess around with some future floor shine. All right, who do you guys want to see next? Sure. As soon as Masterbat, as soon as I see it, I mean, I want to wait until it goes on at Ross. It may be a couple years before it gets there. Let me run through the comments, make sure I didn't miss any specific questions. I think I got that right there, the removable helmet one. Yeah, this is pretty much what I have time to do right now, Hot Cheeto Fingers. Hopefully when I find some extra time, I've been working on weekends, so it makes it difficult. I just saw that AS Reyes, funny guy. Seconds, huh? Okay, that's a challenge. I want to see you go live and pose the figures. I can always learn. I know I'm not the best. Let me see. Cody Spring has questions about Wolverine metal claws. Why don't we do that now? Let's bring up my Wolverine projects that I have here. Oh, let's get lost. So this is a really good figure, as you guys know. It's a great body for Wolverine. I just don't like the vanilla face. I think it's fine, but it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. So metal claws, I did do metal claws. I think I showed that off a while back. What you need to do is, I wouldn't even drill specifically a hole for it. What I did is I got it hot, like the metal hot, and then I seared it through the plastic when I did my original one, and then I put some epoxy sculpt on the knuckle area right there where the claws come out. I didn't ultimately like the shape. I didn't like the shape of the metal claws. I prefer the curve to them. I can't remember who drew them like that. I think the curve, I can't remember if it was Jim Lee or not. Oh, toppling Wolverines over. But I like the ones that Casting Cave did. And if you're an artistic person, you can use some Plasticard and cut them out to the shape that you want, and then obviously make a little nub at the end, kind of like what these are. Have a little nub at the end right there, and you should be able to insert them just fine. But you don't need these fists. You can use whatever fists you want to use. All right, so here's my question to you guys. I got about 20 of you in here with a lot of knowledge, and what do you guys think is pleasing to the eye or not? All right, where did that other head go? I'll use this Brother Voodoo body as a Wolverine for now. This was the head I was originally going to use for one of these Wolverines. So which one should be which? I have another one of these that I found at Target the other day. Actually, my wife found it at Target the other day for retail price. And one of them is going to be brown suit, the other one's going to be tiger stripe, and the third one is going to be the X-Force uniform. So I had originally gotten this head, and it's a pretty cool snarling. What's up, Faded Unicorn? I really like this head sculpt, but then so I bought that one, and then I ended up getting this one on eBay. It's a fantastic head sculpt, man. That is, to me, that is screams literally and figuratively Wolverine. So awesome, man. And then just the other day, when the eBay was having that 20% sale, then I ran into this one. This was sold by G.I. Joe Eben. G.I. Joe Eben? Is that what his Star Wars Geek? Sorry, G.I. Joe Eben is Jesse Quintero. So this was sold by Star Wars Geek, and I also like. I've seen this head. I've seen this one on some Wolvies. So who should be what? Let's say we'll call this head number one, head number two, and head number three. What do you guys think? Brown suit, tiger stripe, or should this one be the tiger stripe? I think, man, I think this is the best one. This is a phenomenal looking. I like this one a lot too. But there's just something about this one that I love. Maybe once I should have primed this one so we could see all the details. So you guys are saying this one right here. Let me see. I've seen a lot for tiger stripe. This one may have been around $8. I want to say eight to 10. Same with this one. Can't remember what I paid for it. I think it was around. Maybe this one was like 10 to 12, and this one was like $8. So you guys thinking this one tiger stripe? All right, so we got some mixed opinions right here. I'll go and count later. But they're just great, man. These head sculpts are dynamite. You can't really appreciate this one so much right now because I didn't prime it. And I did I prime this guy? No, I didn't prime this guy. It just came in gray, so you can see the details better. I think these are the two better ones. And then obviously this is what this one looks like painted. It's pretty cool too. That could be a variant of one or the other, or I can make this guy the X-Force. But I do have questions regarding the X-Force one. What I was waiting to figure out is how to do the shoulder pads. I think I'm sculpting it. I was gonna take this one and use it from here, but it looks like it's gonna be way too big. And then I will be doing a claw swap and putting in, like I said, I love the Casting Cave Berserker claws, and that's who I'm gonna, and those are the claws that I'm gonna use for the Wolverines, unless another one comes out. And I wouldn't mind some longer ones than the Casting Cave ones. Here, let me go get the other Wolverines so you guys can see what it looks like. All right. So this was the Sam Keith version Wolverine that I did. This was literally my first custom. I can't believe I made this guy my first custom. But then, check out those claws. I love how these things look. They're like, it's very aesthetically pleasing. I like it better than the straight look. I know it's going to be I know that's going to be subjective to how you want your Wolverine, but I love how this looks. I've talked about this guy before. This is also a very, very good head sculpt. Toy Biz nailed this guy. Yeah, this is a fat Wolverine. Sam Keith style. Bone Claw would be cool. I haven't planned on it, but now that you've given me the idea, that would be pretty sweet. All right, let me see. Let me run through this. Jetson, Osgood, you agree with that third head for the X-Force? Now that's what I wanted to ask you guys. So when I end up doing X-Force, I need the boots. You know, like the Marvel Legend ones. What would be a good boot? Because I don't think X-Force had this. Am I right, guys? X-Force did not have this classic looking boot. I feel like it was more along the line of this guy, and this guy's a work in progress. This is the reason I got into customizing, but that's a story for another day. I think I think the boots should look more like an actual boot, like maybe like this. Yeah, he did. This is an indestructible Hulk body. Actually, there's so many different pieces on here, and I'm glad that this is one of my first customs, or this was my first custom because I did so much work as a newbie. I mean, I sculpted. This is all sculpt. It's terrible, but it paint is terrible too. But I kept the kit bash on here. I have a Revoltech joint to give this some height. I got feet from, I think the feet were originally from Batrock. Matter of fact, they were the feet from here. Long time ago, man. I've learned a lot since then. All right, let me run through and make sure I didn't miss any of the questions. Apurva Kumar, what's going on? Can I do a tutorial making the hair on Infinity War cap longer? Sure. Matter of fact, matter of fact, I made hair, and it's kind of a similar principle. Where's my beard? Sure. I think once I get a little bit more comfortable doing hair, I can do a tutorial. But what you will, I'll tell you right now what you're gonna want. If you want the hair to be flexible, a la this. See how this is pliable, movable, but it still retains its form. So if you want it to be like this, you're gonna want to get this right here, Procreate Putty. If if you want it to be rock hard as cement and look like that, you can use Epoxy Sculpt, or you can use a mixture of both, which is what I'm planning on doing with Bizarro, the alternate Bizarro head. So I did some sculpt here just to fill in, because I ripped the hair apart, filled in right here too. There's a lot more work to be done on this face. All right, let me see. Fat Marine, that's good. uh, yeah, Cody, that's true. The claws have changed, over the years, and then just depending on who's penciling Wolverine. I prefer him coming out of right here, out of the knuckle, or is it in between the knuckles? I can't tell. You might, you're crazy, AS Reyes. He is thick. Uh, so I haven't. The question from We Are Venom. I haven't sculpted a face. I don't have that ability. I've never done anything like that, so I can't really speak to symmetry. Uh, Unfortunately, I can't answer that, so I'm going to leave it at that. Hey, what's up, IE Hunter? Hey, collector spotlights. You know what? The next one is when I feel like it, and I haven't felt like it. There's a few guys that I've already talked to that are down to get interviewed. but I just seriously haven't desired to do it. And as with you guys, I don't want to do anything in this hobby that I don't really want to do. But I'm sure I will do some in the future, because there are some guys that I do want to talk to and actually get to know. The reason I do those collector spotlights is, primarily to highlight people in the community that do cool things, whether it be having a YouTube or ACBA or starting a web page or group or whatever, is to get everybody to know them. But it's also so that I get to know them. Let me see who else is up in here. Okay, so Faded Unicorn asked, do I have a bucket list or a custom figure hit list, or do you just one day get the idea to do one and just work away? Well, I do have characters that I want representations of on my shelf that I just don't think that the regular Marvel Legend does it enough for me. This is me speaking personally. I'm not saying that you need to be this way, but this is a great figure Marvel Legend put out, but it just wasn't good enough for my taste, like for what I want on my shelf. So I want to do a complete repaint with a head sculpt that deserves to be on this great body. A lot of the Marvel Legends, all they need is just a little bit better paint because the sculpt is there, and other characters just don't exist, or the characters that they've made are just not up to par. So, like for instance, I'll talk about this guy right here, Magneto. I need a Magneto. He's X-Men, and the Magnetos that we've had, I don't really care for. So for me, as bucket list goes, is when my ability, like certain thing, like this Wolverine, my ability was able to do this Wolverine right here. It definitely stretched my ability, and I can, if I were to remake this exact figure, I could probably do a much better job, because I've just learned over, my customizing tool belt has gotten more tools on it. But now I feel like I can finally make a Magneto, for instance, because the cape, and you need a good posable cape on these figures, just like Superman. If it wasn't for a guy like Toy Box Custom, I wouldn't have been able to do the Superman or Bizarro, because I can't do the chest emblem. Sculpting is definitely a weakness in my game. Check that out. He made this out of a very soft, pliable plastic, so it comes straight. So what I was able to do is just heat it up and then form it to the body, and that just it looks great. Look at the Bizarro S right there, the reverse S. Just did a great job. Maybe I can do this in the future. Maybe it was just, doing a flat piece and then cutting out the diamond and then cutting out the things inside. I don't know how he did it. I need to see someone. I hope someone shows how they do their sculpting, because it's something in my game. I need to up my game, is sculpt wise. It's not very strong. Here's a Daredevil. I needed a Daredevil. The Daredevil that we got, great, but check out this head. This is from Super Tom Customs. He's a guy that knows how to sculpt. He took an existing head and he added on to it and made it a Daredevil head, and I think it looks great. Again, for my taste. And now, I'm learning. I'm adding some things to my tool belt, like trying to make this look more like clothing underneath. You can't really tell yet, but let me see. I think was it the Superman? I think it was the Superman. I did some of that. Was it Superman? Maybe it was. Hold on a second. Now I can't remember who I was doing the sculpting to. It was Bizarro. So just adding those things that when I end up priming it, you'll be able to see that it actually looks like clothing. And I saw Super Tom. He did an amazing Daredevil, man. His Daredevil's off the hook, just great. Added to my tool belt, toe articulation. I have a video about that, so that way you guys can learn. But as you can see, it's not perfect. I need to figure out how I can make this, like this foot came out better than this foot. It's just with experience, as with anything, I get better. So I think this Daredevil is gonna be, it's gonna be end up being one of my nicer figures. Hopefully once I get all the sculpting done, like the D's, I need to do the D's, and I was waiting for Procreate to be able to do that. And the way that I'm going to try to do it, and if it works, if I do it well, then hopefully I'll be able to do one of these other videos working on somebody else's chest emblem, and I'm going to get to one that I'm really excited for, and I may do him next. He may be the custom, the next one that I talk about, it may be the custom that I end up finishing first. And I'm actually not, where the heck is, oh, there he is, he's man down. So the way that you do it is laying a thin layer of Procreate, and then you would take as I understand it, is you print out the D's or Daredevils, on the computer, and then you lay it over, you cut out the D's and you lay it over the Procreate once the Procreate has cured, and then you just use an X-Acto knife, because that Procreate will cure softer, and then you cut out the D's, and then you do some sanding, and then hopefully good to go. But, and also with the Daredevil, I'll be making his Billy Club and his these look like nunchucks, but I'm making them out of styrene. So it'll be the first time that I'm using styrene. First time I'm using styrene, and I'll probably do a video on that. And I got the idea from using styrene and magnets from Super Tom Customs. You guys should go check him out. He's starting to put more stuff out on his channel. He's been primarily on his website and on Instagram, but he's been putting more stuff out on his channel, and that's what we need for the customizing community, the people that want to mess around with this type of stuff. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Roberto Rojas, what is up, dude? What's up, Nightwalker? Nightwalker, you got like 1,000 names, bud. Norin Rad, Curtis Martinez, Nightwalker. Pick one. I am gonna eventually do a Gambit. He's not on my priority list though. All right, so let's talk some Star Wars just momentarily, not for too long. I was thinking, so I ended up getting this 3D printed head from SR 3D Customs. It's a pretty sweet looking Star Killer, and I was going to use this body, but I don't know. I think the head, the body fits the head. I mean, I'd have to allocate it a little bit lower, but I feel like it's too big for Star Killer. What do you guys think, for you Star Wars nerds? What's up, Lorenzo? What's up, Mikey? Or Mickey, I'm sorry, Mickey. What do you guys think? I don't know, what would be a better body to use? Maybe I should start thinking about using a Black Series figure rather than Marvel Legend. Just because I wanted this guy to have, all the posability in the world because of his character. What's up, Caesar? And obviously when clothes come on this guy, everything will look a little bit more proportionate, including the head. But I just feel like the body may be too big for Star Killer, especially after standing him next to Darth Vader, the Darth Vader we have. I think I put most of them away. Hold on, let me see if I got a Darth Vader. Maybe it does work. This is the Black Series. I just put the KO, that KO head on it. So I don't know. And to be honest, I never played the game. Well, I did play a little bit of the game, but I don't know the story too much. I know he's not part of canon, but I think he's too tall. I feel like he's too tall. And and I want him to scale with this Darth Vader. Bucky, let me see, maybe. Let's see. I think this body's actually about the same size though. But obviously I would have to situate the head a little bit lower. I think I may have to go Black Series and find the problem going to Black Series, and like Caesar pointed out, the head may look too big. Can I get this head out? Hold on a second. Oh, that head's stuck in there. I don't want to mess around too much with it. I don't know. What do you guys? Bucky? Maybe the Bucky from Winter Soldier. Maybe that is a smaller body. I wonder what that would look like on here. Too buff. I think that's the height I would want. Oh gosh, all sorts of things falling over here. I think this is about the height that I would want. But it's just too buff. I'm gonna have to think this one through before I continue on. So that's a custom that's probably gonna definitely take the back seat for now. I don't plan on doing him right away. Too many other characters I care a little bit more about, you know what I mean? I'm gonna put these all on the side. Let me put Vader back. This head sculpt, Matt, I got it online. Where does, those of you that are comic fans, where does he appear in Snow Gear? Hey, Cody, you keep on saying Solo Patch. I'm not sure what that means. Solo Patch, is that a character, and you're suggesting it for Starkiller's body? Is that what you meant? Hey, Robert, this isn't my desk, bro. This is my kitchen table. This is literally my kitchen table. I don't have a workspace. But I know what you mean. I have to clean this up after I'm done. I don't want my wife getting upset with me. Solar for Golf, I have about 30-ish custom projects. These are about 20, and I have a bunch of other ones planned. Like I planned a Gamorrean guard, and now Hasbro gave us a Gamorrean guard. But I'm still going to go through with my customs. I ended up buying the head sculpts. I got, I think, the perfect body for them. It was actually a wrestler, Yokozuna. So I ended up getting a couple Yokozunas, a couple Hulk feet that I need to sculpt sandals for. But that's, I haven't even worked on the kit bash on that guy yet. Okay. Running through, I'm reading through the comments right here, trying to catch up. Solo Patch is in the animated series. I saw the animated series. Why am I'm not remembering the character? I'm just being a little bit dense right now. That's probably what it is. Oh, Cody says a Han Solo body. What it reminds me of the head looks like a patch Wolverine. Oh, this guy right here, like with the eye patch. I think I get what you're saying now. Like I think it was it from the House of M, where the Wolverine has his hand cut off. Yeah, Daniel, when you go ahead and hit me up on Instagram, I'll take a look at your stuff. I like looking at stuff on Instagram. Life is so much easier. I bet that way. I wish I had my own space, man. That's why I named the channel Life with Brock, because life happens around me. I don't know if you could hear the little dog was a while ago tapping on the screen. I want to go out and kill her. Get distracted very easily. Age of no, I haven't, Nico. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that head. So they used Caesar. Send me that picture. I'd love to see it, because maybe once you start putting once I start putting the clothes on it, it'll look good and it'll look fine. I really like this one. I like this body as a whole better than the Bucky cap, because Hasbro is improving with the butterfly joints. They're about the same size. So there's a Bucky cap body, except that this is more muscular. Is a little bit on the thinner side. Actually, and the muscles are, yeah, it's a little bit more, it's a little thicker. But the height's about the same. The head's sitting a little bit high, so I just wish it was a little bit shorter. I don't know why I think he should be shorter. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But like you said, it was shorter than that Darth Vader. I thought Darth Vader towered over him, though, from what I remember. This character, I'm not revealing this until I figure out how I want to do this character. I started this like 2 years ago when I first got into customizing, and I tried my hand at soft goods, did a terrible job, but now I have a better idea how to do soft goods, so I'm going to revisit this. This is the character that got me into customizing, and there's no way. I mean, if you the likeness of this character as he appeared in Marvel Comics is uncanny. I mean, it is uncanny. This guy looks almost exactly like he appeared, but there's no way. He's so obscure you guys would not know who he is. Free comic book if you figure out who this guy is. If I haven't told you before, if I've told you before, it doesn't count. Shrink plastic. Oh no, I've seen people do that with molds, like for example, where's he? This guy. This is a Bowen head sculpt right there that was shrunken down to fit on a Marvel Legend body. And people also upscale things. I know some of the Star Wars guys, like Darth Maul, not Maul. Shoot, I'm gonna forget his name right now. He's not part of canon. He was part of the Old Republic series. Really cool looking Sith. That his name's slipping my mind right now. I can't think of his name. But anyways, I'm looking at Caesar's Star Killer. I don't think that's a Bucky body. I think that looks like, I could be wrong, but that looks like It's sweet looking, but I think that's somebody else's torso. Oh, gotcha. It's not this guy. It's the like an older version of Captain America, right? That's really cool. Who did that? Did you do that? I lost my music. Music doesn't want to play anymore. Oh well. We're coming to the end here anyway. All right, so before I show you that, let me show you this. Jaime Feliciano, yeah, he did a pretty cool job. So I am going to be doing a Cyclops. I found a jacket for him, and it's a wired jacket. I just have to sculpt all the X-Men gear on and obviously paint them up. I worked on the fingers. I remolded this hand to have the two finger Cyclops look. But the reason I wanted to show you that is because I'm going to be doing the Red Hood. Got this head from Toy Box Customs, got the guns and stuff from Toy Box Customs, but I'm going to get a smaller jacket that fits him, and man, it's going to look money. People have been using the Star-Lord base, Star-Lord base for Red Hood. Everything. They've been using everything for even that little jacket that came with them. I'm changing it up. If you look, GP, I think it's GS Slot on eBay. It's a great job. I was going to do it myself, but I'm not that skilled to be able to do it. It really posable. Really, you can mold it to however you want, but the whole windswept, it makes the figure look more dynamic, and the jacket looks like legitimate, like leather jacket. I'm gonna have to paint this guy up, obviously brown. I'm gonna have to paint this, but they do have a brown version. I didn't see the other ones before I got this one. I got this one during the sale that they just had, the 20% off sale. But man, I can't wait. I like Cyclops, but I like Red Hood more. So he's definitely a guy that I'm going to be doing real soon. And one of the things, if you see how Dexter Soy has been drawing him, he has like an undergarment, like an undershirt that he rolls up, like he rolls up his sleeves on his jacket. So I'm not sure if A.S. Reyes is still in here, but he sent me this custom he sent me this custom bullseye that some guy had done for him. But I'm chopping it up using the parts. Matter of fact, let's do some customizing right here on camera for those of you that have never done anything before and you want to learn how to take some things off the figures. All you need is your wife's hair dryer, and if you don't have a wife, what's up, A.S. Reyes? I'm repurposing your bullseye that you didn't really care for anyway. I'm going to be using. He's becoming part of my Red Hood. So you just want to heat up the joint really well. I'm doing it off camera because if I put the heat on that green mat, it will warp it. So I heat up the joint really well, and then you twist. When you do this, you twist and you kind of pull to the side, and you want to get that mushroom peg to come out. Make like a baby. It's almost there. Come on, girl. There you go. So I got the part that I wanted. Let me put this off to the side. Looks like Daredevil lost his head. Make room, player. So now I'm going to do the same thing to this arm right here. And same thing with this guy. Get that mushroom peg to come out. Now, when you go put the arms back on, a mistake that I used to always make is I would heat this part up. I wasn't thinking this through. So what you really want to heat up is this part right here. This is the part you want to expand. So you heat this up, and you actually, I know I just heated this up. What I would normally do is I would cool it off, but I did it with this other arm, and I know it'll work. I'm gonna heat up this. Actually, let me see if I can just go ahead and jam it in there. No, it's not gonna work that way. So I'm gonna have to heat it up some more. And it actually, it's a pretty darn good fit. Hopefully I can make this work on camera. And putting it on and just twisting, and now we're good to go. And the reason you want that peg to cool off is because you don't want that plastic on this part of the body to be able to move, because I've actually torn pegs off that way. You know, chalk it up to experience. I think this hand should just pop out. The hands look a little bit large on this form like that, but you got to remember he's gonna be covered with a jacket. I mean, this is really a good body for Red Hood. Just I love the character, you know, Jason Todd. I can see this guy on a stand with a couple of guns that I got from. So he's definitely somebody I'm going to be working on soon. I just have to wait for that jacket to come in. I ordered a smaller jacket, the smaller one. Hopefully it fits. They're kind of pricey, guys. This jacket right here was cost me $20, but I also I've done sewing projects. I did that for the custom Yoda that I made. I made him his robe, and I've made other robes before. And I can already tell you that my work would not have been as this clean, and it would have taken me a pretty good amount of time to figure out how to go about doing this project. So $20 ended up being worth it for me. If you already know how to sew, give it a whirl on your own, man. But I think that cloth goods, if it's done right, adds so much to the figure. I mean, it makes a figure look more dynamic, and I know it's going to do it for this Red Hood. So I solved my problem. I was actually going to use this, and I was going to shave this down and then resculpt the forearms, but I figured, you know what, let me try the Bucky Cap arms, and I had a couple arms there to spare, so that guy is going to look pretty darn sweet. I put this jacket on him initially, and I could pass with this one, but I think a smaller piece would go even better. This is the sunburst body, or the black the bullseye body, and I am doing as you can see, I have just about every single one of the Robins. So here we have Nightwing, and again, really good body to do to use for Nightwing because it's a superposable body. Now, the only thing, I think what I may end up doing is I may be taking this bottom layer off and resculpting it with the Procreate, because this is not flexible at all, and it does hinder articulation. You know, I can't let the neck go up. But again, a little minor thing that I'd want to do. And this is what I was talking about before, about adding some just minor details that will help this look like he's actually wearing clothing. I have to do some more work on this guy before I start painting. Added toe articulation too. Peace out, Caesar. If I put a Ghost Rider head on that green dude's body, you have a nice Sam Keith style fig on that green. Oh, this guy right here. That's the Savage Dragon upper body. I like Nightwalker. This I got the idea. I was reading at one of my old Spider-Man comics, and it's when he hurts his arm and Deathlock's in there, and they give him I think his arm's broken, and they put like a robotic arm so that it would help him heal. Somebody was supposed to send me a Spider-Man. I think it was Art. I think Art was supposed to send me a Spider-Man, but as you can see here, this blue doesn't go and the red doesn't go here. So I definitely don't want to do the webbing. That's something I just don't have the talent to do right now, or the skill. That's a skill to develop. Pounds 978 does it all the time. I don't. So, but this is just another Spider-Man. This is just a stand-in for when I actually do work on him. But it'll be unique, a unique piece for the spider shelf that I have. Winding down, 2 more customs to talk about, and then we'll call it a day. Let me see if you guys have Robo Jose, muchas gracias. Yeah, you did. Matter of fact, I used that Spider-Man. I used him for this arm. So what I actually may do is go use your Spider-Man. Now that I think about it, why didn't I just, instead of taking this arm off? Oh, you know why? Was that a KO that you sent me? Was it a KO, Cody? I think it may have been a KO, or maybe it wasn't a KO. But there was, oh, here, let me show you. It's right here. There was something that made me think not to use it for that, but I may change my mind because I don't have the paint or patience to do that. But if it looked like these hips were, like these legs were forward compared to, and it may have been because I had something in front of it and my eyes played a trick on me. It looked like there was more space. Yeah, it seems like this is more gappy than this guy. You see there on the hip? It was the re-release. There's more of a gap, and for whatever reason I'm going, I didn't really care much for it visually. I like how it retained the sculpt, and that's why I ended up doing that. But I may end up going back and changing it. It's pretty loose too. I think I can fix that with I'm pretty sure I can fix that with future floor polish, but this one just seemed tighter, and I think there's just a lot of gap. You see all that gap right there? So that's why I ended up going, I'll just take off the arm. That's why I made that choice. But this is the one that you sent me, and I do appreciate it. But I think now that I'm looking at it, check out the articulation that you can get on this guy. Look at that. Cannot do it as good. not quite. It doesn't go as far back. You see that, guys? Interesting. I may have to revisit that because look at the articulation on that. It almost seems like it's the old Toy Biz McFarlane Spider-Man. That gap allows for more movement here. Huh. How about that? And that belt, you're right, and that belt may help cover some of that gap, but that gap right here, it allows this leg to go all the way back. Huh, I wonder if that was done on purpose. Let me get his head on him. No, the head doesn't want to go back on. There we go. How about them apples? That's a very articulated a spider figure you gave me. How about them apples? All right, let me move on. And okay, so this was a KO Aries. And you guys may have seen what I did to this guy before. There's just one more thing I want to do to him before I carry on. This was a KO Aries. This was before the newest Aries was released, and that the old Build-A-Figure Aries was so darn expensive. Well, I ended up buying a KO from China, and it was actually very well done. But I elected to, because it was the KO, I'm going, you know what? I'm just gonna use it, and I'm gonna mess around with the neck, because if you remember, its head would not be able to go up. So if you guys want to add neck articulation, I have a video on how to add neck articulation to your Aries. I think it's a super important, I think it's a big deal, and it improves the figure so much that once I get around to it, I'm gonna work on doing it to all the Aries that I have. The only thing is, because it's the Build-A-Figure, it does not have the ankle pivot, but I can also add ankle pivot, and when I end up doing that, when I decide to do it, I will make a video, that way you guys can do an ankle pivot too. So this is a guy that I worked on actually a while ago, but for whatever reason I didn't feel motivated to continue him at the moment. There were some other projects that I wanted to finish, like the Thanos that I did a while back, that took precedence, but I will be getting to him in the near future, adding some ankle pivot. And then finally, I'm not sure if that is a He-Man sword or not. He came with a ton of swords. He came with an assortment of swords. Probably, it could be an MOTU sword. But as you can see there, it's from China. And then my most recent project that I've worked on is this Captain America. Really, really excited about Captain America. Is my favorite character in the Marvel Universe. And believe it or not, I didn't have a custom Captain America until this guy. So this is using the regular body, the regular Captain America body from the retro wave, that it has the old school gloves. But what I did was I sculpted the star and I raised it, and I have a video. I'm not sure if I had a video of the actual sculpting, but I did have a video of how I started putting the chainmail on, and I used glitter. Actually, once I got past thinking, oh man, I have to put it on in a certain way, the star will look good once I paint it. But once I got past the part of like wanting to be perfect with every little thing, the project went fairly smoothly. And I have an idea now. I want to do a Deathstroke because I can do the chainmail with this, and I think it came out looking pretty good. This is also a Bowen head. Really nice head sculpt for Captain America. And messing around with magnets. Got a magnet there, and you can't really see them, which is how magnets are supposed to work. And right there, and then finally one on his back. So really, I don't know why that makes me happy, but being able to do that with Cap Shield makes me happy. uh, Mickey, I use these right here. I got two different sizes. So for the shield, I used the larger size magnet. Sure, that is that focusing? There you go. And then for the other ones, I use the smaller kind. Give me a second, and I'll be able to tell you what size these things are. I have to look it up real quick. As I'm looking that up, if you guys don't have any questions, I'll be ending this in the next couple minutes. Let me look up I got them on Amazon, and they're refrigerator magnets. I think this is gonna potentially be one of the best figures that I've customized. I'm really hoping that it turns out how I'm envisioning it. I'm looking up the magnets right now. What size are these guys? Okay, so the larger magnets are what size are they? I want to say they're 3mm, but okay, they're 6mm by 2mm. The larger ones are 6mm by 2mm. So 6 is going to be obviously the length, and then the 2mm is going to be the height. And then the other guys are going to be wait a second. Which ones did I buy first? I may be wrong about that. Stand by. That can't be right. I don't know why they're coming up 6mm by 2mm, but that's not right for both orders. And unfortunately, there's no sizing in the package. And I put both of them in together. I am no help to you right now. I apologize. Would I trade for a custom? Come on, AS. Come on, man. Would I trade for a custom that I've already done? Maybe. Maybe. All right, so this is the end. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed seeing all those customs in progress. I'm almost done with that cable. I'm not going to wait for the next collector spotlight to do the giveaway. I've waited way too long already. So right now I'm going to go to the computer. I'm going to pick a winner. I'm going to have it randomly selected, and then I'll put up the video on Instagram, and the winner will be announced there. And it's for that X-Men comic book. So hopefully you all applied. You want your free comic. All right, bro. All right, guys. Again, thanks. I do appreciate you hanging out, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.